All right, so hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Homeroom Lending Podcast. Today we have my co-host, Kim Fontanez,
Hi.
and and our guest, Ramon Martinez, attorney, many years, also
Too long.
AKA Alex or Ale for the familia, los que lo conocen.
That's it.
Los que
así.
conocen.
Of course.
So thank you for jumping on board. Thank you for coming on the podcast. We wanted to, we've been wanting to have you for a while. I know that you're busy and you got a lot of stuff going on.
Thanks for the invite. I understand that this is the hottest ticket in town.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that I would even receive
We're
an
booked all
invite
day. This is
says
like 5 in the
everything
morning.
about my luck. Thanks so much for the invite. This is a lot of fun.
No,
Yeah,
this
it
is cool.
is.
Yeah,
It is.
definitely cool. So should we call you Ale or Ramon?
Ramon. Professionally,
Professional.
Ramon.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're doing professional. So Ramon, tell us about yourself, man. Tell us what you do. How you got into the business.
Yeah. I've been practicing law for about 20 years now.
Wow.
All right.
Actually, I graduated the week of 9/11. That's crazy. Now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah. Exclusively real estate. I've been, a real estate attorney now for maybe the last 10 years. Before that, I did criminal defense, matrimonial, evictions, litigation. Now it's strictly real estate because that's where it is.
Okay.
Got into law to help the community, actually, the Latin community, Spanish-speaking community. The idea was always to try to give a little, contribute a bit. And found my niche with the last name Martinez and being able to speak the lingo, that helped a bit. 9 out of 10 of the clients are Spanish-speaking, and who knew that there were the market for home buying for Latinos is just out of control. Who knew that? Who knew that?
Right now, Long Island has the most Hispanic buyers than there's more Hispanic buyers than any other
Unreal.
nationality. It's right now Long Island number one home buyers right now.
Unreal. And I do have colleagues. I have a good number of colleagues that are Spanish speaking, but by and large, we have mostly only English-speaking attorneys. So there's a small advantage, and so I won't be retiring anytime soon.
Yeah, but it's funny because I might have said it at one of the other podcasts where when you dial into say NMLS, right?
Yeah.
And you go to speak, get help on there. You dial the their help desk. 9 out of 10 times, if you go the regular, speak English, it takes you an hour to get on the line.
Is that right?
If you tap, if you hit for Spanish, hit 2 for Spanish, immediately somebody will speak to you. So that just goes to show you how there's not that many Spanish loan officers. And I don't know, a lot of them are hitting the one and speaking, talking to someone in English.
Yeah.
But you're smart. You
just go right. Yeah, you go straight to. So that tells you.
Yeah.
Number one, right, Long Island in terms of buyers. Yet there's not that many Hispanic loan officers out here. There's not that many Hispanic attorneys.
Yeah.
Yet I'll be honest, I see a lot of Hispanics actually working with non-Hispanics.
Yeah. And they're relying on paralegals or legal assistants to translate for them.
Right.
They're not getting the attention that they deserve, unfortunately.
Yeah, because the language. It's hard to
barrier.
understand. Kim. It's like
It's tough.
doing a loan is very difficult, right?
It is.
And for the clients, to be able to explain that to them, even in just English speaking, right? Very difficult.
Tough enough.
Right. For them to understand.
And then the barrier.
The Spanish is the whole different.
It's tough, trying to get them to understand. And of course, we want them to understand.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
I feel like that's a huge advantage in terms of being able to help the Hispanic community. That's why we're doing the podcast. We want to get our name out there in the sense of be able to educate the Hispanic community.
Yeah.
Offer our services in that sense. Somewhere where they can feel comfortable, where they can go and find the right information, trustworthy information. Where that's not, you can go on the internet, you can find a lot of information, but really what I should say is really insight, right? Because insight is what we have,
Sure.
our knowledge, and that's something that I feel like for clients, and I've worked with Ramon in the past, I have to say that
By
working
far,
with Ramon has been the
Very
best.
kind. Thank you.
Amazing
Absolutely.
experience.
Yes.
Clients, every client's always
How much is
happy.
this gonna cost me?
I almost feel like
How much is this gonna run me?
I almost feel like every time I send the client to
Right,
Ramon,
'cause
it's
you
like he
know
levels
he's in
us up.
good
Like
hands,
he's you're a lifter. You bring us up a notch or a few notches. Because you're tall. You put it right on our shoulders,
Aw,
and
yeah.
you really do
super
elevate
kind.
us. You really do. I mean,
Thank you so
we've
much.
we've had situations where if it was someone else, I know we would have lost the business.
Right.
Well, it's pretty, tense work that we're, working with. We have buyers that are super nervous. They've saved for years, and here they're
yes.
ready to purchase their first home.
big.
And then there's
It's so
something,
important.
if it's, through the inspection process or commitment process, their title issues. It's nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
It is.
So it's important to have someone who could actually speak to their concerns, and say, hey, listen, let me give you proper counsel. This is the way I would handle that. And yeah, I'm glad I could just help a little with that.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
you
I
definitely do.
definitely feel like you help a lot. I mean, and a lot of people don't know this about Ramon. I mean, aside from being an amazing attorney, right, being able to deliver for us in Spanish and English, he works with everybody. Ramon's also has a pretty cool background with music.
Oh,
Not a lot of people.
we're talking about that.
Yeah, well,
We're talking about
I
that.
wanted to bring that up because when I met Ramon, right,
Yeah.
it's not every day that you meet someone who's like a borderline celebrity.
That's about when I first met you. That's what
I'm
he told
maxing
me.
out my line of credits here.
That's what he told me. He's like, he's a celebrity.
Yeah, the guy's a pro.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, you guys are awesome.
So
funny.
yeah, tell us about music, man. Tell us about
Oh,
really because
wow. Yeah.
people are gonna be surprised because it's like when I think of people that could do music and can sing and can do all these things, I don't know if it's either one or the other or they've done a little bit. I've never met people like that have been in a band and done So yeah, tell us
That's
about
so
that.
cool.
Yeah. What's interesting is I wanted to study music, and I was in college, and my professor of music said, yeah, don't do this. He told me this. He said, if you want to make a living, get yourself a proper gig, and you will always have your passion
Right.
to rely on. Anyway, so I did that. I got a proper gig, but I was as a young attorney also gigging at night. I had a
That's
bag.
amazing that you never let it go.
And it's funny is that most of the gigs were Thursday nights, and in order for me to get on stage, I would have to get a little liquid courage.
Yeah.
And I remember that the next day there was always a meeting at the firm, and so I would have sunglasses, and I remember the senior partner say,
Yes.
"You got to figure out which
Suffer
one
to
you
grow,
want.
yeah.
It's one or the other." And so I kind of let go of the live gigging, and I'm still producing electronica and land pop and all the good stuff. You need an outlet. This gig is not easy. You
Yeah.
need
Right.
to offset
You
the
need
madness.
something.
You know,
You need
So, yeah.
something.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, where would people go if they wanted to look at to find that?
Yeah. So some electronica stuff. You could look up the artist Rocamar, Rocamar. That's one name that I use for some of my music. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
I definitely
check
am.
it out. Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, we've been working together for a while.
Yep.
You've done a phenomenal job, and I'm sure
Thanks,
you
brother.
help, you help other people as well. I wanted to, ask you, right? Aside from the music, and the things you've done, with being an attorney, like what's something that you would want to get out there to say, either the Hispanic community or just people in the industry, whatever advice you want to give out to people, whether they're trying to follow a career, anything, nothing's off limits. Whether it's
Well, I think
go to
what we
school,
do. I think what we do is pretty important. The pride of ownership is remarkable, and I think, coming up in a land community, it's super important. Just that pride of ownership, because unfortunately, a lot of our parents and their parents didn't have the flexibility of higher education, so they weren't programmed or coded with that knowledge of, hey, listen, you need to save, you need to invest. There's real estate. We didn't know about that. So we came to the country and we rented. We continued to rent until we retired, and then realized we had no equity. Right. So of course, now that we have some knowledge and we have to pass it on. We have to pass it on to our
That's
little
duty.
guys
Yeah,
and let them know passive income. And then we got to teach them that, it's real estate, real estate, real estate. So obviously you want to position yourself with a gig, whether it be lender, realtor, or real estate attorney, to try to build up your own fortune and also try to help out those in your community as well.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you. I mean,
that's
that's exactly what I feel like Kim is doing every day with her kids.
Yes.
Super important.
No, it's like
no
it
better
is.
No, you're right.
education. No better education than that.
It's
Yeah.
so true. I mean, they're at that age, 22, 23, and, I try to tell them, right? Like, save money, retire with a pension, get that good career, and my youngest one wants to be an attorney.
Very cool.
So, that he has a great path, and my oldest one wants to be a doctor, and, where did this come from? But, I guess whatever I've been doing, me and my husband banging it into their heads, it's important.
Programming.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
It's important. And even my youngest one, I tell him all the time, he looks at, he wants to buy a house. He wants to buy a 2-family. He keeps saying that to me, and I'm like, he's 22. At
Super
22,
important.
I never thought about that.
Well, he's got you.
That's what it is.
Right.
Right.
Because, our parents never said,
But he sees you. He sees you doing what you're doing.
Yeah, it's
and
just he's
how well
interested in
things
it.
are going, and like it's
He's very
they get interested.
Yeah, and it's good.
I mean, this is fun. I mean,
It is.
the job itself, like the people you get to meet. When you learn about everybody's family.
Something you'd like to
it's
forget.
Something, yeah. Well, yeah. There's
That's for sure.
mistakes.
There is that.
Yes, of course, that's for sure.
Yeah,
but it is, it's everybody you work with. It's it becomes fun, and you meet so many people, and they become your family. It's like they become such good friends of yours.
Yeah.
Repeat customers, and their families. It's just, I mean, I've been invited to 60th birthdays.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's just been crazy.
Yeah, every time you sell a house or you do a
Yeah.
mortgage, you have a barbecue to go to.
Right. I mean,
like,
right?
well-
I said to you, I'm like, we have to go to Jersey, whatever, right?
Well, I will say this, because I'm exclusively real estate. I see a lot of loans close. And unfortunately, you have some unscrupulous lenders
Oh, yeah.
that,
Yes.
they hit in the front, they hit in the back. And it's regrettable.
Yeah.
And I will say, because I've done some bank closings for you guys give good loans, and they're
yeah.
clean.
Thank you.
You're not trying to kill anyone.
No. No.
You're trying to do the right thing, and you're relying on them spreading the word.
Exactly.
And I think that's great of you
Thank
guys
you.
to do that.
I appreciate
Yeah,
that, Ramon.
it's so
That's,
important to us,
You're not going to
taking
become
care of
independently wealthy doing that, but
yeah, but the business grows. You get,
of course, I'm kidding. I'm
Yes,
kidding.
I know. Yeah,
The
but
growth.
that's important. Making sure we take care of them,
Yeah.
Right.
right? I
Yeah.
mean, and that's how you get a referral. I mean, our thing is like for a lifelong time of working together and actually building something,
Yeah.
not just taking one loan and making a ton of money on it.
Right.
What is that?
Yeah.
It's, and that's what people do, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and you see it.
They try to get rich on that
one loan,
loan.
right? It's
Not
like,
cool.
Yeah.
Not cool.
There it
Not
is.
cool
It's
at
like
all.
it's like we take an approach where we we try to figure things out.
Right.
That's I feel like if you get into the business because you're trying to get rich overnight, it's gonna be
Yeah.
very, very difficult. It's gonna be a tough job. But if you're just trying to learn the business and you're trying to figure out, I mean, I get excited for the I get excited for the challenge.
Biggest thing. It's like a high for me.
Yeah, in fact,
right?
in fact, I can think of a few challenges happening right now that we need to take care of.
Yeah.
It's
But
like
it's true.
Yeah.
It really is.
There's runners high, and then there's loan processing high,
Exactly,
apparently.
right. There really is. I'm not even kidding. I've said it for years. Like
There is.
I get high when I close a loan.
Yeah.
A difficult loan for me
It's
is like
wow. Yeah.
right. I can't take it.
You feel
I
very
really,
accomplished. Yeah.
I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
It's really a drug
I say it
for
all the
me.
time.
That's
if
fantastic.
if you're someone that needs to be challenged,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
need someone that if you're someone that needs to just constantly have things being different and you being involved from different points of view and collaborate, things like that, this is definitely the business for you.
Yeah.
You know, this is definitely something where like it'll keep you on your toes. You constantly have to be learning.
Because
every year,
different.
Yeah. Just with regulations. Every loan's different. And then on top of that, every year they come out with new regulations.
Yes. New
guidelines. I mean, it seems like almost every quarter.
Yeah.
Right?
It's never boring.
Change.
Never.
It's never boring. Yeah. There's always stuff. I mean, yeah, you cannot it's always expect the unexpected, basically.
Yeah, sure.
Right? One day you have the loan, it's 100% ready to go.
And then boom.
And then before you know it, something happens that's completely out of your control. You know, it could be the client went off and
bought a car.
Literally just the car or just spend money on credit card. Whatever
bought a
it was.
couch on their credit card.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just something so silly, but
and it's off. It's over.
And then
aside from other things that can happen, but
and then it falls on me to do some acrobatics.
Yeah.
yes.
Trying to buy time. How do I extend
Yes.
this
negotiated
commitment
powers
contingency? and this market has shifted. And and we all know what we're talking about here, but it has shifted where the sellers are no longer interested in extending any time.
Oh no, yeah,
because they don't want to have 2-3 months
Right.
with their valuable hot property
their house is
out of the market.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get you in and out, and if your buyer can't get their commitment and be able to close, they're pulling out.
Yeah.
Crazy. You know what? And I think
It's
in response to that, whether we're just more acclimated to the environment that we're in and how we're processing loans, and we're talking to other processors in the office, and we're closing loans in 2 to 3 weeks. Because
of that situation.
Because we have to, we're definitely, we're more settled in terms of like the new guidelines with COVID. Like it's now it's we know what to expect.
Oh yeah.
Right. So, but for and it's not every loan that we can close that way. Every loan has its issues, but if everything goes well, no issues or anything like that. We're closing loans. Boom, 2-3 weeks, and that's coming from the processors. It's not just us. There's other people who are doing it, but there's a good focus too on the processors and how they're doing their work and their pipeline. That's
of course there are always factors outside of our control. Letters of explanation or sourcing funds or. I know. And I'm always looking for whatever I can use to try to buy time.
Right.
Regrettably, I'm seeing way too many loans go beyond that point.
Right.
And sellers are no longer interested in hanging tight.
No.
Yeah, no.
They'd rather kill the deal and get onto another buyer and close.
Yeah, because by the time they, that all that transpired, then they could probably get a higher bid anyway. So there's no if it was a market that was going the other way, they hold on tight and they extend and they hold on to it for dear life.
Yeah.
But right now, the market
sellers are just going crazy today.
Up.
They really are. Yeah. I mean, we just had one, that they want us to. They want them to put a purchase price of, let's say, whatever, and if the value doesn't come in, put the contingency that they have to pay.
So the difference.
They have to pay the difference.
Yeah.
Listen. At the end of the day, I wouldn't sign a contract like that. No. You know what I mean? I wouldn't. But there are people out there.
There's a lot of creative maneuvering in contract drafting. Appraisal contingencies.
Right.
With scales and everything. There is a lot of that. I again, that's part of the shift.
Yes.
It's a seller's market.
It's a seller's market.
So there's that.
Yeah. So you have to so when you're going in, you have to be strong with your loan. I mean, if you're going in, even with the real estate agent, it's got to be very well collaborated. And you have to go in knowing what you want to do. I mean, and I get it. I mean, there's some clients that they feel they need to bargain and they need to come in at a certain price, and I understand. But that's not the environment that we're in.
Right.
And if you're doing that, you're really hurting yourself because what's happening is the rates are going up. So you're actually working against yourself.
You are.
So you think you're saving, you're worried about $5,000, $10,000,
but then
you're $20,000.
Now your interest rate just jumped up a half a point.
And now you're out $50,000.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like you have to look at the entire picture, and I think that's something that we do really well with our clients. That I feel like we definitely, whether it's because of our backgrounds, right. That we basically can just explain to them and break it down, but just the entire picture.
Make them understand.
Yeah,
exactly. That's important. And we're a good team like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Because I mean, you've seen like some of our clients, it's like, they needed you at the end too to make sure things got done. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's very confusing and intimidating and scary, especially when it gets to the table. That's
a lot
everything's cool.
A lot of massaging of egos.
Yes, a lot of sweating, and so that's why I think it's critical to have a real estate agent, a loan officer, and an attorney that are on your corner.
Yeah.
When you go into that closing, when you go to the closing, because it can be scary.
Sure.
I mean, because it's almost everybody knows that anything could happen, and I think the buyers and the sellers, I mean, if they're not experienced, they're the ones that are kind of, up for grabs in that sense. They're just, their minds are flying 1,000 miles a minute while, everything's happening.
It's an emotional roller coaster for these poor folks.
Yeah.
There's no inventory. The rates are going up.
Everything. It's a challenge. They need a good team. And,
they do.
So for anyone out there that's in the process, and this happens all the time. The first thing, anytime you get I hear someone that gets a high rate or they're charging them points, the first thing I ask them is like, how do you know the person? How did you meet that person? And then they'll say, well, I met them through the real estate agent. Okay, so how did you meet that person?
Right.
And then soon enough, you realize, okay, so you don't know anyone. You didn't truly know anyone. It wasn't a referral, right? The initial contact was to someone that you know very well.
Yeah.
So you could end up in a situation like someone right now that we're trying to help.
Exactly.
Where they're it's an FHA loan. It's like a 650 credit score. They're giving them a rate of 4.125, right? 4.25, an eighth, and they're charging them almost 2 points. And the loan is it's only like $230,000.
Yeah.
So it's a low loan amount.
It's sad.
It's a single buyer, and
the person doesn't make a ton of money. And that person is being taken advantage of.
First time home buyer. She's they're
Exactly.
young.
Yes.
They're young.
Yes. And that's so sad.
Yeah. So we're helping them to at least understand what's going on and find a compromise there. But
even if we don't get the loan,
which I don't.
We still take our time and make sure they understand everything. Because now, you know what? At the end of the day, we're talking to them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole point of this. That's to educate people and explain to them what's going on.
So even if we're not, getting the loan and making the money, we still are explaining everything to them because it's unfortunate. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's how we
are a quality team.
It's sad.
Not everyone does.
No
one. It's true.
It really is.
That attention you guys give your clients.
Thank you.
Well, you know what? It's evident, right? When we run into clients all the time, when you're asking them, you say, "Hey, so what's your what rate did they give you? So what are your origination charges?"
Yeah.
And
they don't know,
and they don't even know where nothing. So
they don't know anything.
They don't know anything. So they may know something, but that something sometimes it's not even what
important.
they think it is. It's So when in those in this particular situation that I mentioned earlier, that's exactly, she was asking me all the questions that they were never answered, and it was just like a discovery, and they're about 2 weeks out to close.
Right.
So, so it was like, it was one of those like where everything was great, and then 3/4 of the way there, Ray shoots up points and the whole,
Sure.
So it kind of sucks.
Which I hear
but it happens,
all the time.
but I'm glad that, we're doing what we're doing, and taking the extra steps, and we're taking the extra time and effort to make sure that people understand what they're getting into.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean that's a big deal.
It's the biggest thing.
Aside from that, then we just have to.
You're doing good work, brother. Great work, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. So we're pretty much done with this episode. Welcome. Thank you for everybody for joining us.
Thank you. Come back for the next one.
Yes, and please join us again. We're gonna be doing more podcasts every week, and
I won't be here next week.
Thank you. Yeah, in spirit.
But we will have you again.
Yeah, in
definitely
spirit.
have you again.
So thank you.
Maybe
Ramon,
next time you'll sing for us or something.
That's right. It would be a performance, live performance.
We
would have to go live on something like that.
Exactly. There you go. Come on.
Yeah, I'm never coming back.
I'm
never coming back.
I scared him away.
It was a lot of fun, guys.
Thank you for having
it.
It was a blast, guys.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
This is definitely a good time to see you again, man. Appreciate it.
Likewise, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.